Welcome back to another episode of Profits Picks. We had a pretty good day yesterday. Let's look to keep it going and keep bringing in the profits to start the playoffs. I will say to start today though, I don't love today's card as much as yesterday. So you probably won't see as many series bets looks, but I will give a side and total on each game, and we'll go through some player props. Just keep in mind that's the reason why you won't see so many series bets. Not so much value in in these series right here. I just see really one on my radar that I really like. So we'll go through each game in the order that they go. And the first game is going to be Orlando Magic taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, and line open Bucks minus 11.5. Currently seeing 13s across the board. Total opening 224, and we're now seeing 225. You know, I agree with the move on the spread. I mean, Magic are missing. They're missing a few different players. Uh, they're gonna need all hands on deck for this kind of series. The Bucks are a deep team. The Bucks have beat them every time they've played this season by about what 17 points per game. Each one has an under. Both teams are capable of playing defense, but the Bucks offense is gonna shine a lot more than let's say the Magic offense. And it just comes down to who I trust: a shorthanded Magic team or a Bucks team who maybe has a little bit of a chip or a little something to show. I mean, everybody's saying they didn't look so good in the bubble. This game's gonna matter here, and we know which team is definitely the best team. Cream will rise to the crop, I believe. So I will go with the Bucks minus the 13. They're better offensively, defensively, better rebounding team. I would even maybe look for them in the first half. I know that's maybe been an angle, but it's a lot of points. That's the only way I would look. They beat this team by 17 points per game each time, 4 meetings this year. That's the only way I would look for the side. And for the total, I disagree with the line move. It's going up a point, missing these bodies. I mean, each time these teams have played, it's went under. It pushed one time. The under is 3-0-1. Looking at looking at the Magic when they play competition, their last 5 games, the under is 4-0-1. And then looking at the Bucks when they play these lesser competition teams, the under is 5-1 their last 6. Also, another stat from my man Ralph Michaels. This one's going to be not team specific, just league specific. Game ones with the line greater than or equal to 10. The under is 13, 6, and 1. That's about 68.4%. And we did see one of these games yesterday. It did not stay under. It was the Raptors versus the Nets. But that game, we know the Nets. They've been playing more up tempo. They wanted to go run and gun and check up some shots. I mean, Magic have been playing more to the over as well. But I just think the Bucks actually should care about this game and will put some effort on the defensive end. And if they do that, I think we see the same result that we've seen throughout the year, under. So we'll go Bucks minus the 13, you huge spread, and then we'll go Magic and Bucks under the 225. And if we're looking at a player prop here, one player that will get back, they'll need as many as they can, but they'll get Fournier, and just coming back playing this Bucks defense. I mean, if somebody's going to score, they probably need him to score, but I'm not quite sure how much rhythm he'll have today going up against this number one defense in the NBA for the season. I would probably look towards him to maybe struggle a little bit, maybe be a little bit rusty, and I would go with his point total under 18 if I'm looking at a prop in this one. And I tried to look at series. I even said what Magic probably don't win a game, but Bucks and 4 is minus 250. That's just not something I'm willing to take. So we'll move on to the next series. And the next one we're going to talk about is going to be the Heat, Miami Heat, and the Indiana Pacers. Line opening Heat minus 3.5. Currently seeing 4.5s across the board. Total opening 216.5, and that has since dropped down. Now I understand the move for the spread. What we have few players still questionable. We don't know if they're actually going to play. I'm assuming everybody's going to play, but I think that's the reason for the line move. T.J. Warren, questionable. Um, Miles Turner questionable. and one other guy. I think Oladipo questionable. I think they all will go. I think they all practiced. Miles Turner probably was the most in jeopardy. I think he had the sprained wrist, but I feel like T.J. Warren, he's been he's been game time decision for a while now. He seems to go. So as long as they practice, I would assume they play. I don't really love laying the 4.5 points. Honestly, I don't love it. Simply, I mean, I know they blew them out their last meeting, but the Pacers didn't really care. I just think these teams will play a tight game, and it kind of bothers me that the spread is 4.5. Um, but with that said, if you like the Heat, you want to wait because when the players are announced that they're going to play for the Pacers, the spread is going to go back down. You'll get a more favorable line. And if you like the Pacers, I think you just believe that the players are going to play and you jump in early and take the extra points. Myself, it's tough for me, but I know the offense has been better for Miami. They're a better rebounding team. I trust them on defense. I don't necessarily trust Indiana, although they can play defense at times. So for that reason, I will go with Miami here. Miami pretty much full strength. I'll take a look at for the total though, dropping from 216.5 to 215. I mean, I know neither team plays at a fast pace. Both bottom 10 pace in the league this season, but both teams are capable of scoring. I mean, I took a look at the Heat just for an example. Heat when they're rested and they're playing competition being 55% win teams or greater, the line is -4 or greater than or equal to -4 with a total between 210 and 217. The over is 12-0. The average total was 213.2, and they went over the total by 11.92 points per game. So I would lean more towards with that. I mean, I think both teams can put up some points here, especially if Warren plays, Oladipo plays, Turner plays. I think the over is quite a steal. All right. And in this one, I don't really love a series bet. Reason being, I mean, the price is just so bad. -300 for the Miami Heat. I don't really trust that the Pacers can come and win the series outright. I do think the Miami Heat win. Pacers maybe might give them a challenge, but just didn't see anything that's too appealing in this one for a series. If I'm looking at a player prop, I am going to go, I mean, Miami Heat, a much better rebounding team than this Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner with his sprained wrist, we'll see what happens with him. But one thing we do know is Bam will grab some rebounds. So I would go Bam over his rebound total. I see 9.5. It may even go up a little bit, but I would take it probably to under 11. I probably would take it. 10.5 probably would still be okay. So I would look for Bam to clean up on the boards in that game. And we'll move to the next game here. We're going to have the Oklahoma City Thunder facing the Houston Rockets. Opening Thunder -1.5, still sitting at 1.5. Total opening 225.5, and that has since dropped down. We're seeing 224.5. And Houston Rockets will be without Russell Westbrook in this one. I know James Harden is a superstar. I know he's great. But I think Russell Westbrook is extremely important to this team, especially after they got rid of Capella. I think they got rid of Capella for Westbrook, honestly. But he's the guy who can push the pace and put pressure on the defense, get in the paint, and kick it out for these guys who are all waiting on three-pointers. When Westbrook is not in, it's more just standing around watching James Harden and seeing if maybe the rock might come your way. And, I mean, Houston's offense still is probably better than Thunder's offense without Westbrook, but I don't trust their defense. I don't trust them to rebound. And I honestly, in the playoffs, I don't trust Harden. He's shown he'll quit on his team. Granted, it's game one. Hopefully, he won't quit on his team in game one. D'Antoni, he's been a loser. He hasn't won anything. I'm just not a believer in this Rockets team. And looking at the Rockets when they play 65% win teams or less without Russell Westbrook, and they're less than a 13-point favorite. Rockets not good. Rockets against the spread 1-8, average line of minus 4.3, and failing to cover by about 15.06 points per game. They were 2-7 straight up in the same scenario. So I don't, and the under is 6-2-1 in that same scenario. So that makes sense. I'll touch on that under really quick. I mean, without rest, that's less pace. Like I said, more standing around for everybody waiting on James Harden to do what he wants to do. So that makes perfect sense to me. But like I said, I don't think this Rockets team is as good without Russell Westbrook. I mean, I think he's the engine that drives them. Thunder have covered their last 5 meetings versus the Houston Rockets. Westbrook is not playing to go face his old team, but CP3, he's right there for the Thunder coming back to face the Houston Rockets. And I'm sure he has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody's saying he's not worth it. Everybody's saying Thunder won't make the playoffs. Here they are. And I saw him tweet out a picture saying they're not done yet. It's go time, whatever. But I trust OKC. Better defending team, better rebounding team. I trust Chris Paul more in the clutch than I trust James Harden. And, I mean, we looked at the Rockets without rest playing these less than 65% win teams. Let's look at Thunder. Thunder playing less than 65% win teams. So just not the superior teams that they're playing. And they're either a dog or a favorite of less than 5.5. Thunder 24-1 against the spread. Average line was 0.7 dog, and they covered by 4.84 points per game. Straight up, 19-6 in that same scenario. So those two just go right against each other. I mean, Rockets have been poor without Russell Westbrook against less than superior teams, and Thunder have been good versus less than superior teams. They've been covering, they've been winning. Rockets have not been covering. Rockets have been losing. So I'm not gonna bank on the Rockets here. I'll take the Thunder minus the 1.5 points. And as far as the total, I trust Thunder to play defense, and I trust Harden to ISO and run some of that clock. So I trust CP3 to also run some of that clock. With that said, I agree with the line move towards the under. I would have to be taking the under in this one if I'm going on the total, just because it should be more ISO ball, and they're going to miss the pace of Russell Westbrook. So we'll go Thunder minus the 1.5, and we'll go under 224.5 in this one here. And if we're going to look at a player prop, I mean, we all know Houston Rockets are extremely small. I don't even think they have a center on the roster. Steven Adams, he could be a problem. I think he'd give them more than they can handle. I think he cleans up on the boards tonight. If I'm picking a player to focus in on tonight, it's going to be Steven Adams, and probably over his rebound total. I would say 10.5. I would take that to go over. Rockets are the second worst rebounding team in the league. Should be a nice advantage for him going up against PJ Tucker. I'll put my money on Steven Adams to grab some rebounds. And this is the one series where, I mean, you probably can tell by now, but I see some value. Thunder plus 140 to win this series. You're not sure how long Westbrook is out, but he's out for this first game. And I have a friend, Teddy Covers. He brought up a good point. If you're going to bet the series for a team, you're betting them to win that game. So you're betting that team that game, because if you don't think they're going to win, then why are you betting the series? The odds will be better afterwards. So I like the Thunder to win the series plus 140 if I'm making a series bet on this game here. And we'll move on to the last game on the card today. I'm loving the playoffs. I mean, 4 games all day long. Basketball heaven for us basketball lovers. So just let's keep it going. Loving that. We have the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. And this one is the funniest game to me. You Lakers are underdogs, right? Based on the way everybody's talking, and public perception of the Lakers and the Blazers. Blazers are superheroes now. But line open, Lakers -5.5, currently seeing -6.5. Total open 228.5, and that is shot up. We're seeing about a 5 point line move almost. Line is currently sitting at 233, and I understand completely. I mean, I don't know if you heard what I just said, but a lot of people love the Blazers, and I think it correlates to the over if you like the Blazers for sure, because that's a team that's going to outscore you, a team that's not going to play much defense, and yeah, if you think that they can keep it close and cover the points or even win the game, it's likely to be a high scoring one. Both teams playing at pretty good pace, but one team plays defense, one team does not. So if you like the Blazers, you like the over. I think that's pretty simple. And if you like the Lakers, I mean, you could still like the over. Could. But Lakers are a team that plays defense. They will struggle to contain Damian Lillard. I expect them to maybe trap him or double team him when he crosses half court and make everybody else beat them. But I trust the Lakers to play defense. There will be nothing easy inside. We're a good defensive team. If you like the Lakers, if I like the Lakers, I'm taking the under in this game. Now, with that said, let's talk about the side. Blazers, their team has been red hot. They've had to win every game though. Other side, Lakers have not looked good. They've been disappointing. They haven't really cared. What seed are they right now? They're still number one seed. Who cares about these bubble games that they've been playing? Preseason games. Those were preseason games to the Lakers. If the Lakers have a bad preseason, do you panic? You do not panic. Blazers, now granted, Lakers tend to start games off a little bit. They're up and down. Some games they start off really well. Some games they lollygag. Now with them having this rest and time off, maybe I can see them possibly having a slow start. If I like the Blazers in this game, it would have to be early for me. Blazers have been a team that come out and go up early and kind of fall off as the game goes on. Now, if I like the Blazers early, I probably would even go more so first quarter than first half, because you're going to see Damian Lillard majority of that first quarter before he goes to the bench. And you kind of want to stay away from the bench in this game. So I would lean more towards Blazers early, maybe first quarter, maybe first half. But I see them running out of gas here. They've been playing so many meaningful games. They had to play a play-in game. They started off red hot. They still were shooting the ball well, but their shooting percentage has gone down, and I attribute that to being tired. So as the game goes on, I expect the Blazers to look worse and worse, and I expect the Lakers to look better and better as the game goes on. So if I had to play this one, I would take Portland early, and I would take the Lakers for the full game. Now, personal opinion, I think that the Blazers can come out and get up a little bit early, and you can maybe get a better line live. But I'll take the lean on the Lakers with the defense, with the rebounding, and with the fatigue factor. I think that that's probably the pick that you want to go with over the course of the full game. And for the total, I said if you like the Lakers, you like the under. You know, it could be a situation where Portland comes out early, and then Lakers have to respond offensively. And they can respond defensively as well. But I think they could get into a scoring duel early, and we see less points later. So this game I feel a lot of ways about. But if I had to play, it would probably be like a first half over, maybe second half under. But if I'm playing the full game, I don't trust the Lakers to single-handedly stop Damian Lillard. I mean, I expect them to trap him, slow him down. I don't trust them to just stop him, or like he's not going to do anything. And on the other side, I don't think the Blazers have anybody for LeBron James. I don't think the Blazers have anybody for Anthony Davis. I just see easier baskets being scored in this one. So I would kind of agree for this game one for the total to go over 233. So we'll go Lakers minus the 6 and over 233 for this one right here. Look at some player props. We saw Valanciunas eat up the Blazers. I think Anthony Davis should have a good day. I mean, it's playoff time now. No, no other choice but to go hard in this one. If you don't go hard, when are you going to go hard? So I think he can maybe eat up on this defense. 29.5 points seems like it's reachable. Other props, though, that are catching my eye. LeBron, rebound total, I see 8.5. It's a little juice, though. Minus 136. I definitely think he can grab 9 rebounds. I mean, I could definitely see like a triple double type game from LeBron. And then lastly, they're just not a good rebounding team, the Blazers. They're also going to be without Zach Collins. That's going to hurt. They'll be smaller. Kuz over 5 rebounds, minus 106. I would just focus on those guys. Focus on the big man to eat and focus on team to grab rebounds. Now for a series, I didn't really come up with anything because the odds are so bad. Everybody's betting the Blazers, but it didn't come down low enough. I mean, I'm not going to give out minus 500 Lakers, although I think they win. Lakers in 4, Lakers in 5 are about the same price, like plus 250. But I mean, I think the Lakers win. I don't think the Blazers win. I don't think they win 2 games. They definitely don't win more than 2 games. So, however, you can maybe find a way to play the Lakers in that regard. But I definitely think you should watch out for a live spot on the Lakers today. I think they'll go down, and then you can maybe get a little better line than that minus 6. And that's going to do it for today's card. 4 games every day. I love it. Let's keep it going. We had a pretty good day yesterday. Let's make some money today. And I'll catch you guys again on the next Profits Picks. Best of luck, everybody.